Another beautiful day, another quick and easy meal using cheap everyday ingredients that you can find in your local pantry. Let's make some stewed beef, some yellow rice, coleslaw, and a butternut. Let's get cooking. So for my beef cut, I just used economy beefs from the grocery store, and that is some spices I put in about to add when I start stewing my beef. There was black pepper, there's rosemary, there was parsley. So you just cut your beef into smaller pieces like so. And yes, you can use like the supreme beef, the superior beef. That would also actually cut down on your cooking time because it's more tender and it will taste yummier if I'm being honest. But we do cheap things over here. We're on a budget, so we used economy beef. And yes, I didn't cut off the fat. So in a large pot, add some oil. Like I like to say, always saute your meat, guys, before. Always make sure it's seared on both sides. It's a bit brown. It will bring out the flavor. So I added it into my pot and started to sear it on both sides. At this point, I didn't add any of the spices. So when your beef is nice and brown, you can go ahead and add the spices that we prepared. Also, yes, I like to fry my spices a bit as well. It also brings out the flavor. So that is the black pepper, the coriander, the parsley, there's some salt, and there's rosemary as well. Let me pour some water. I had boiling water in my kettle, so I poured quite a bit in there because, like I said, it's economy beef, it's a bit tough. And then you let it boil until tender. You can also use a pressure cooker for this. I do not own one, but maybe I will if you guys keep subscribing and social media finally decides to start paying me. As for now, we'll manually use the stove. So yeah, just cover your pot and let it simmer away. So let's prepare some vegetables. I had some carrots, some peppers, tomatoes, and of course some green beans. And like I usually say, go for all the vegetables you want to put in there. And yeah, I like to cut them chunky, so I cut my green beans. I also did the same for my carrots, left them very chunky so that they're vibrant in my dish and still crunchy and just delicious. Also do the same for the peppers. And also cut up some onions. So that is all the veggies that I had. So that's what I used. If you have more for the peppers, you can also add some red pepper. It makes the dish vibrant as well. It also gives it a bit of more flavor. Baby marrows as well. So that is me just dicing up my tomatoes to use. So when the beef is all tender, I drained up some of the stock to use in my sauce. Then I started adding my spices. That is garlic powder, onion powder, as well as some paprika. Then I continue to brown my beef again. In Shona we call it kufraya, akakanga nyama. we call it kukanga nyama. So that's what it should look like after your kangaring is done. Then I added in my green beans and the carrots and continue to stir, but not for too long because we want to leave those vegetables a bit crunchy. Then in went my peppers and the onions, and you mix around until the onions are ripe. They start to look translucent, and that also gives you time for your carrots and the green pepper to also keep cooking. So after a while, that is what it looked like. And then added my tomatoes. And just continue to mix and simmer. This is on a low heat, by the way, until my tomatoes are nice and they are soft. Yes, you can cover the pot just to speed up the cooking process, and after a while it looks like this. Yes, you can add some tomato paste as well. It gives that the reddish like color in the dish. So yeah, it's great. It also gives the tomatoey flavor. So if you have, you can add. Then in went my soups. It's a mixture of cornstarch, there is freeze-dried stock, and a few other spices. So I just added a bit. In my country, those come in sachets, so that is me mixing everything together. And they are made by different companies, but for some reason we just call all of them Royco. So that is me putting my Royco in my stew and mixing around before I add my liquid. Yes, I like to fry it a bit just to remove that doughy flavor from the cornstarch in it. Then I added some stock. Look at how beautiful that is. That I had saved up when I bought my meat. So yeah, added up some stock. I added up a bit more stock just to loosen it up and let it simmer on low heat for a few minutes. Yeah, that is how it should look like. So you can just cover your pot, let it simmer away. Also remember to taste, and you adjust your spices, you adjust your taste as you wish. I remember I added some chili flakes. Yes, that is some chili flakes. I like my food a bit spicier than usual, so I added some chili specks. So let's make some rice. In a pot I added some vegetable oil, then I added some rice. I just used the ordinary short grain rice. I wish I had some long grain types of rice like basmati, so I added some spice for rice. It's got a bit of turmeric in it, and I also like to add a bit more turmeric on top plus the salt. Then I fry my rice a bit. And yes, frying your rice before you cook it, guys, pro tip, it makes it very fluffy after your cook time. So that is me frying it around. Then we added some butter because why not, big bags over here. So that is me adding some butter, and then I poured in some water. For the rice I use, it's usually 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. So I then poured in my water, and when you use this method, there's no need for you to drain the stock in the rice halfway through. Wash your rice, put it back on the stove. After that, you just cover your pot and leave it alone. Do not stir, do not do anything, just leave it alone. Trust me, guys. Let's make some coleslaw. So I shredded some red and white cabbage, put it in a bowl. Then I added some peppers, I had some onions, I had some diced tomatoes as well as some shredded carrots. Then I added all that into my bowl with the shredded cabbage. I didn't have cucumbers, but yes, I could have added those as well. So you can add those, and then you just mix everything around. Then in starts going your creams and your spices. So I put some freshly ground black pepper. Then I also added some salt. And yes guys, this really lifts your dish, don't be afraid to. And sometimes I like to put the salt on the tomatoes before they go in, you know. I then added 2 tablespoons of my mayonnaise. You can also use salad cream, or you can use half salad cream, half mayonnaise. Then there is some Dijon mustard, and yes, I put a lot because why not, I like that tangy flavor. Then I also added some salad dressing, that is the no salad dressing, because why not, me and spicy things. So yeah, you can add that to your coleslaw. It really makes a difference. Then you just combine everything until it's all fully combined, and set it in the fridge until it's serving time. So that is just everything together. That is my meat that has been simmering away. That was the coleslaw that I made, and that is the rice. That is how fluffy it comes out. It's literally grainy, like it's separate grains, nothing clumped up together. So yeah, let's dish out. I added some decent amount of rice in a plate. Then in went my beef stew that we made earlier on. Then I added my coleslaw that we made earlier on as well, and some butternuts. Yes, I like the sweetness of the butternuts. It really brings everything together. So that's all from me. Do like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy. Bye.